Hey, KU fans, welcome back to KU Sports Extra. Fresh off the volleyball courts of San Diego, Tom Keegan is here once again, and I am as well, Matt Tait. We're going to talk only volleyball for this KU Sports Extra. Why, Tom?
Why not? I mean,
Perfect
they're
answer.
the hottest KU team going. They're in the Final Four. Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. It's been a great run. It's been a great 4-year stretch if you really go back to the beginning of that. There are a lot of girls that created this foundation that they've just kept improving. But this is a 30-2 team that's headed to Omaha this week for the Final Four. We will be going with them, taking a photographer with us as well. Well, we'll be going on our own, but we'll be going to follow them and cover this whole thing. Whether they're there one night or 4 nights, whatever it is, it's going to be a heck of a ride. So that is the good news for this edition of KU Sports Extra, that Kansas is in the Final Four. And it's not just that they're in the Final Four. It's the fact that they've gotten there with an incredible season. I mean, start to finish. They win 19 straight to open the season. Everybody understands at that point, gosh, these guys are for real. This is a really good team. And then they get better, and they get better, and they get better, and they just keep knocking down doors. They're an incredible team that took Texas, who's also in the Final Four, to 5 sets in a thrilling match here in Lawrence.
Should have won in 4. Kansas should have won that in 4 sets if it had served better.
And then they beat USC, the number 1 overall seed in San Diego, where Tom was sitting courtside. This team obviously can hang with and beat anybody.
Obviously, and I was just talking to Maggie Anderson, and she said that loss to Texas showed this team they can compete with anybody. And if not for that loss to Texas and how well they played in that loss, maybe they don't beat USC.
Definitely.
So that helped their confidence. And this was a career highlight for me. It really was, because for one thing, I was the only outlet there to cover Kansas, the only media outlet other than their play-by-play and color commentator. So, to be able to interview anybody I wanted at any time and to witness just the most remarkable comeback you can imagine, down 13-9 in the 5th set after being way down in the 3rd and 4th, fighting all the way back, and then losing both those sets. You just didn't feel it, even for this team, and they did it. And they did it with 6 straight points, with the number 1 player in the nation on the front row for all 6 of those points, playing for the number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. You just can't get more improbable than that for a comeback, and they were just incredible. And yet, you had to feel so good for them, and still feel so good for them to be in Omaha for the Final Four. Unbelievable.
Ray Bouchard, fantastic coach, fantastic man. The coaching staff, Bird and Todd Chamberlain, fantastic people that have really worked hard for this thing. And then the team is a team full of really good people. They're fun girls. They're exciting. They have great personalities, and they get along so well. So tons and
no
tons
drama,
and tons,
no
right?
drama on this team.
Yeah, tons of good news for this team, and obviously still going. What is the bad news, if you can find any?
Well, you can find some bad news that it happens to be Nebraska that KU is playing, and playing them in Omaha. And Nebraska, those people are so crazed about volleyball up there that they bought these tickets up months ago, figuring Nebraska would be in the Final Four. And sure enough, Nebraska is in the Final Four. It holds 17,000. Probably 15,000 Nebraska fans will be filling it up.
You saw this team in person, and you've learned a lot more about volleyball in the last couple of weeks than maybe you have in your entire life.
Yeah.
What do you think makes this team go? What do you like about the way these girls play volleyball? Why are they exciting, and why are they freaking 30-2?
Well, I tell you what, they are very well coached.
Yeah.
Ray Bouchard knew he needed to upgrade his staff, and he did a terrific job in that. First, getting Todd Chamberlain, who's in his 6th year. Todd Chamberlain knew Bird, Laura Kuhn, and ran into Bird on the road, told her about the opening, and told Ray Bouchard to contact her. He got permission from the University of Miami to talk to her, and Ray had 3 people he interviewed for it. It came down to 2 finalists, and the committee discussed it, and Ray told the committee, it's not even close.
Right.
And he said, Bird is exactly what this program needs, and she has been a phenomenal assistant coach. She will be the next head coach for this volleyball team, as long as she can have the patience to wait until
Unless she
Ray
pulls
Bouchard,
a champ.
until Ray Bouchard retires. So Very lucky to have Bird and both Todd Chamberlain. It's a very united coaching staff,
right,
which leads to a very united team.
That's exactly it.
The modern methods brought by Todd Chamberlain and Bird helped Ray Bouchard, and his ability to just take their edge off a little and say, now wait a minute, and his wisdom.
Very even keel guy.
Yeah, and his lack of ego to be able to hire a force like Bird.
No doubt.
I mean, some head coaches would have.
I'd rather be the smartest one in the room at all times.
Right, because she was not going to leave Miami unless she was told she could be part of making the practice plan.
Right.
Her recruiting philosophy would be listened to. And so Ray's lack of ego has been huge. And then the players, I think maybe taking their lead from Ray's lack of ego and the staff's lack of ego, don't play with ego. They play for each other. And Bird was frank with me, saying that, coaching women is different from coaching men because they care more about their teammates than about themselves.
Sure. Yeah,
and this team embodies that.
There's no finger pointing. There's always, my bad, I'll get the next one. I'll pick you up. No, don't worry about it. I'll pick you up, all that stuff.
Yeah, they feel worse when a teammate screws up than when they do.
And then they have a ton of talent, too. That's the bottom line. I mean, they've got the Big 12 setter of the year in Anise Havili. Yeah. She's phenomenal. They have Kelsey Payne, who I guarantee Texas coaches are sitting there going, why do we not have this girl? She's from Austin, and she's an absolute beast. Why is she not on our team? I mean, they've got to be scratching their heads, and they're loaded too. So it's not like they blew it, but they would take her right now.
And for those who will take offense to Matt calling a college woman a girl,
yes,
keep in mind it's easy to do that because they call each other, they refer to each other as girls.
Yeah, they do.
Are they young ladies? Yes. Are they women? Yes. Let me apologize ahead of time if the word girl slips out of our mouth, but I just interviewed a bunch of young ladies who use the word girl to discuss their teammates.
Good point.
Okay?
Absolutely. Well, let's get back to Omaha and talk about somebody that you think will have a phenomenal showing up there, whether it's one match or whether it's two matches. Who's your primetime pick? I guess that's what we do. Your primetime pick for this weekend for Kansas volleyball in Omaha. There's a lot of good choices here.
Okay, I'll start with answering your first question. Who do I think will have a phenomenal one or two matches? I think Taylor Susie will. I think that Janae Hall will. I think that Cassie Waite will. I think that certainly Kelsey Payne will. And I could go on, but I'm going to pick Anise Havili as my pick to click, my primetime.
Primetime pick, there you go.
My primetime pick.
Why?
Because she, in big moments throughout her career, she was brand new with the 17 and under club team that won the national title, MVP of the tournament. Here in San Diego, the West Regional, with the best player in the country there for USC, and Havili stole the stage by setting her teammates so beautifully, making such great decisions, and some really clever, sneaky, crafty, deceptive work at the net with some setter dumps and the like.
Yeah. The bottom line, I think, for this Kansas team is if they pass well and get the ball to Havili where she can set her feet and be comfortable, Kansas won't lose. I mean, she's that good at controlling the offense, running the offense, and taking care of what needs to be taken care of, getting the ball to the right spots. If their passing is good, and it has been all year, obviously, but they had some moments, especially in San Diego in those third and fourth sets against USC, where it got a little sloppy, and that's why they lost those sets. But when they pass well, they're really tough to beat. I'm going to go with Cassie Waite for my primetime pick, just because she is the perfect player to represent everything that this team stands for. She's tough. She's unflappable. I mean, she never gets rattled. She's tenacious. She works hard. She has a smile on her face at all times. She's phenomenal. They're libero. She gets everything off the floor. She used to be a gymnast. She used to be a pole vaulter. Now she's one of the best liberos in the country, and she's a huge reason that this team is still playing in the Final Four. So, setter, libero. Big surprise there. And we both think Kelsey Payne will be phenomenal because she is.
She is phenomenal. I mean, there was one that whistled past my ear. And, I mean, it would have killed me.
Yeah.
So for those of you
yeah, right, sorry.
who would like to see that happen, It almost did. So
Well,
think next time when you wish me dead.
And here's the best part about Kelsey Payne. If it had hit you, and let's say you lived, but were severely injured, she'd be the first to tell you she was sorry. She would feel horrible about that.
Yeah, she would.
Now, if you were on the other team, she would be happy about it.
Now,
but that's a horrible vision.
Unless it knocks some sense into my head.
Fair
Then
enough.
she would say, you're welcome.
There you go. Well, let's wrap it up. Kansas, do they win one match? Do they win two matches? Do they win 0 matches? How did they do in Omaha in their first Final Four in school history?
Well, since on a severe deadline when they're down 13-9, I'm writing all about the loss. After sending most of the story earlier, I'm writing all about the loss to top it off because that's what it looked like.
Right.
Which means I had to, in 2 minutes, write a win.
Right.
And they came back from that. I'm not going to bet against them again. And I'm going to say that they're going to win the first time and that they're then going to beat Minnesota. I know that the most dramatic thing would be to face the Texas for the third time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say Kansas in 5 versus Nebraska and Kansas in 5 versus Minnesota.
National championship parade in Lawrence, Kansas, according to Tom Keegan. I love it. I think they beat Nebraska too. I think I think they match up well. I think they're similar teams, and I just think Kansas has that vibe going right now that says we will not be denied, and they're really riding that wave of that comeback. I mean, I think that convinced them that they can do anything and beat anybody. Nebraska's very good, but I think that that's a team that they can go get. And then I think they play Texas, and I think it's epic, and I think it's awesome, and I think the Big 12 is loving every minute of it.
Should be.
I don't know if they can beat them. I think they'd probably lose in 5 to Texas in the national championship, just because it's really hard to get over that hump. They've been trying for years to get over that Texas hump, and
not to mention the Nebraska hump.
Yeah, right. They haven't had to do it in quite some time since Nebraska left the Big 12, but that is a lopsided series. But I think Kansas gets the win and plays Saturday. Tom thinks the same thing. We will be there one way or the other, and we'll be there as long as they're still playing. So a lot of fun, a very cool team. If you haven't read about it, we've got a ton of stuff on KUsports.com right now and will throughout the rest of the week. And, of course, we'll be live blogging it from the CenturyLink Center. We're going to cover this thing like it's the Final Four, like it's a national championship. Because it is, exactly right.
Yes.
We'll talk to you guys next time on another KU Sports Extra where we'll bring some other teams back into the mix. But right now, it's all volleyball.
All KU.
All the time. We'll talk to you guys next time.